Hey gang, today I've got some energy tips for you in your office environment, so don't go anywhere. Did you know that the average US office spends $1.34 per square foot on electricity every year? For an office that's about 750 square feet, you pay $1,000 a year or more in energy. Well, according to EnergyStar.gov, 60% of that is going to be your lighting, heating and cooling, and your office equipment. Today's video, I'm going to show you a tip for each of those measures in which you can save money with little or no cost out of pocket. First, let's talk about the lighting. Follow me. The most important way to save energy with your office's lighting is to motivate employee behavior. It may sound pretty simple, but if you can get people to turn lights off when they're done using them and to use blinds and shades and other things in order to brighten and cool areas in the summertime, I think that you're one step ahead of everybody else. But when your lights are on, let's make sure that they're the most efficient products they can be. Let me show you. If you take our office, for example, you're going to look at 2-lamp, 4-foot T8s. These fluorescents here are 32 watts plus a ballast, and you're running about 60 watts per fixture total power draw. Well, these ones are only 12 watts. They're the same brightness and they last over twice as long. And it's an LED. You can save 60% of the energy, which is about $1 per fixture. Imagine adding that up with all the 40, 50, 60 fixtures you've got in your office. It's quite the savings. Next, let's talk about the real energy hog of the office, your computer. Most offices in this area run a setup very similar to mine. Desktop PC with a couple of monitors. Well, with today's mobile technology, you can be just as productive on a 13 or a 15-inch laptop and save a whopping 80% energy. You see, these desktops have large power supplies. Mine has a 500 watt. And this one can only run 90 watts. So at idle, you're talking a difference between 200 to 300 watts or 15 to 20 watts at idle. Even at the highest power draw, your laptop is always going to be less than your desktop. So you can be as productive with this plus one monitor as you can be with a whole desktop environment these days. And you can even take your work with you when you go. So if your office has a choice, always choose laptops going forward. Alongside your company computers comes the office peripherals. We're talking about printers, scanners, copiers, fax machines, and shredders. Ideally, you get a standalone device that does a lot of those capabilities at once. We call those all-in-ones. But if your company can't afford to upgrade right away, make sure they're on power strips, make sure they go into standby when they're idle. You can make sure that you don't use them during peak hours. If you do them in the early mornings or the late afternoon, you can save up to 30% of the energy. Lastly, why don't you follow me while we talk about the heating and cooling of your office. Smart thermostats are now available with settings and timers that can help save your company a lot of money. During the winter months, you're going to want to set it at 68 degrees, and during the hotter months, you're going to want to set it at 75 degrees. That's a very warm and very cool, comfortable range for your employees, and make sure that they don't turn anything like space heaters on that can be costly for the company. Being strict about those numbers can prove to save your company 10% to the bottom line. Also, make sure that you clean the filters at least once a month, make sure that the registers and vents are free from furniture or other things blocking it, and then go outside and make sure that there's no leaves or bags or any debris blocking the inbound air. That can save you 25% every single month. For an office this size, that saves us about $100 a year just by following those steps. In the long run, converting your office to an energy efficiency office is all about behavior. If you can train your staff to really buy into energy efficiency and even do things like contests and making sure that the person that's the most energy efficient or pays attention to turning lights off gets rewarded maybe once a year at the company barbecue, that can really motivate your staff. And it really is about an energy efficiency way of life. Then once everybody starts buying into the new energy efficiency way, you can start to afford new energy upgrades, like LED tube lighting, laptops instead of desktops, and high efficiency air conditioners. Then you're one step closer to becoming an Energy Star rated company. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Aaron, your Energy Geek. Don't forget to click subscribe.